On October 14th, 1947, Chuck Yeager flew the X-1 experimental airplane to Mach 1.07, finally bringing an end to the US military's battle against the sound barrier. This first ever supersonic flight required extraordinary feats of engineering. Many people thought that pushing a plane beyond the sound barrier would eventually cause it to just rip apart. Every single aspect of that plane, every screw, every rivet had to be carefully studied by a huge team. They had to work together to achieve something no one had ever achieved before. And those details mattered because when it finally broke the sound barrier, instead of ripping apart, it achieved that level of performance it needed. That is what the ultimate echelon of performance feels like. And we want the same thing on our teams. We want maximum performance, even under maximum pressure, without ripping the team apart. But the question today is, how do we build a team like that? One of the most inspiring lessons from my career is that there is a systematic approach that any leader on any team can adopt to build a high-performance culture just like this. But we don't get there overnight. And we don't get there by some perfect leader out there who tells a team exactly what to do every step of the way, pulling them across the finish line. No, the best teams achieve their ultimate echelon of performance by pushing each other. That is the power of high-performance teams. That is team-led growth. The challenge with these organizations is they have these great, talented individuals. I mean, these are truly exceptional people, but they don't know how to work together as a team. And they're feeling like, gosh, I'm doing a lot of work here. Why doesn't my team lean in? But they've actually created a culture where the team doesn't feel that sense of commitment. They don't feel like a team. They just feel like a bunch of individuals, and so they act that way. But there is a systematic approach for building teams like this. They all have 4 traits in common: trust, ownership, productive conflict, and accountability. And you gotta have all 4 of these traits, but importantly, they're built in that order. So how do we get there? Well, today we're gonna talk through each of the 4 traits, one at a time, and talk through what are the tactics. Because it's one thing to say, oh, it's nice, it feels good, it sounds, but what are the tactics? How do we actually make this work on our teams? That's where the rubber meets the road. It all starts with trust. Trust means knowing that when you take a risk, when you ask a difficult question, when you have a new idea, if I make mistakes, I know this team is gonna have my back. That's foundational. Trust is a prerequisite because you're not gonna take ownership unless you know the team is gonna have your back in that moment. And when you take ownership, then you might be willing to engage in conflict. Because why would I engage in conflict if I don't care? And if I'm willing to engage in conflict, I might hold others accountable. So I gotta get there one stage at a time. When everyone can be both a player and a coach at the same time, that's when the individual contributions of every team member are magnified. The improvement is no longer linear. It's exponential. It's an amazing place to be. And it's not just the work, it doesn't just make us more effective and more productive, it's also a really unique feeling. If you've ever been a part of a team like this, you know it's a team you never want to leave. The hours can be long. The work will be challenging, it will be demanding. There will be ups and there will be downs. But when you're standing shoulder to shoulder with people who are there with you, committed to this team, to these goals, not just because of the paycheck, but because they truly care about this team, that is an unbelievable feeling. You do that, and I guarantee you will feel your own version of breaking the sound barrier.